Hi guys, now we have a Shimano cassette. It is a Ultegra, and again, it is going to my Chinelli Palio bike, and it's a 1125. As you can see, there's a 1128 and so on up to a 32, and then you can have a 1225 and 1428. I don't know what is that, what's that doing there, but that's all right. So why this cassette? Now I wanted a uh, 11 speed cassette. I find that if you're not competing, I have trouble believing you need anything or much more than a 10 speed cassette. I'd go as so far as to say that you don't actually need anything else or anything more than a 9 speed cassette. If you're not competing, and above all, if you have more than one speed on the front side of the bike, let's say a 2 by 9 or a 3 by 9 setup, you don't actually need 10 10 speed cassette or a 11 or much less a 12 speed cassette. Now, why an 11 speed cassette? Because I want to make a 1 by 11 or a 1 by something 1 by something setup on my bike. Why? Because I really want this bike to be simple. I like the simplicity of a single speed or a fixie, and I believe that if you're not mentally occupied trying to understand in what gear you're on the front versus on the back, that mental effort can go to something else, like trying to find a better balance on the bike, for instance. So I like the simplicity of a 1 by setup. Now, why a 1 by 11 setup? Well, I'm sure I won't need the 11 speed cassette. I don't need that. Sure, there's more gears, which means that you have more, let's say, a less difference from the first to the second to the third gear. And above all, you have that on a 125 teeth cassette. Why? Because the smallest cog is 11 teeth and the biggest one is 25. Only 25 is one, and it's 1.25 times bigger. Sorry, 2.2 times bigger than the first the first ratio. You could have a 1132 cassette in which the increments would be much bigger. You'd have a 11 teeth sprocket, and the next one wouldn't be, for instance, a 12 speed. I'm not sure which one is this one, but let's say this one has a 11, then a 12, then a 14, teeth sprocket uh, succession, and the 1 and the 11 32 would have a 11 and then a 14 teeth, for instance. So you have a much bigger step in between the gears. And yeah, sure, that is nice. That helps you with cadence. And if you're in the zone while riding your bike, mm, one of the ways you can maintain that is by having not not switching the cadence a lot. So a 125 is good for that. Also, 125 in 11 speed is also good for that. The lower the amount of sprockets, the bigger the increments must be from one to the next one. But that's not why I bought this cassette. This cassette is a 11 speed cassette. Now, when you always try to, when making something, making it future proof as much as possible. So we're not going back to 9 speed anytime soon. So we went from 8 speed. Well, we went from 3 or 2 1 speed for a duplex, I thought, and then I think, and then 3 speed, and then 5 speed, or 6, and then 7, 8, 9, 10, now 11, and now we're also making 12 speed cassettes. Campagnolo started that, and I'm guessing Shimano for 2023 is launching their 12 speed setups or group sets. Now, this is from, I'm not sure, the release year of this setup, maybe 2021. It's the model is the 8000. I'm guessing it's from last year. It's a really good cassette, and I wanted an 11 speed because of that, just because of that. I don't want let's say let me just open this. No, nothing there. There's some papers. Who cares? No, the cassette. It's right there. Nothing there. Okay, now the cassette is this body right here. Now, where can I start? As you can see, the increase, the step on these sprockets is really not steep. You could also argue that you have this part of the body, this group right there, and then it grows much faster. Yeah, it's like you have two cassettes in one. You have one right there where it grows more or less linearly, and then it's much steeper for the smallest, the bigger four cogs, initial cogs. Why? Well, because you'll be riding most of the time from here to the smallest ones, and these ones are really useful when you're trying to climb, but because these are not that usual, uh, you'll be spending most of your time right there. So you want these sprockets to be, how do you say it, to be the best ones, let's say, with the smallest increment possible. So there's that. Now, when you have a cassette, a good cassette, a good, this is an Ultegra cassette. The one next to above this one, there's only one. That's the Dura Ace cassette, and this cassette with the difference. Well, where the difference lies is that this one, all the cogs are made of steel, and with the Dura Ace cassette, I'm not sure, but I believe these ones, the bigger ones, are made of titanium, and these ones made of steel. Or they could be made of no, no. Uh, yeah, that's titanium and then steel. Some makers do them like titanium, the smallest ones, and then I believe KCNC also does this, and then the bigger ones made of aluminium, which is fine. Aluminium really can take a beating, mainly if it's the 7 series, the 725 series of aluminium. It really can take a beating. I have in my single speed, you'll see it soon. I have a 14 teeth sprocket on the back. It's an aluminium one. And it has a lot. I couldn't say it, but 5,000 or more kilometers, and it's like new. There's no wear on that part. And granted, it's a bit thicker than this. It's more probably double the thickness of each one of these teeth. But yeah, but the titanium and steel one from Dura Ace, each is 3 times the price of this one. I believe this one is 75 or maybe $90. It's 75 euros, this one. And um, the Dura Ace is almost 200, or yeah, it is 200 and something euros. Again, I'm not competing. I don't need the extra 50 grams, or which is a lot. You could argue that, I don't know if it's 20 grams or 50 grams, even if it's just 20 grams in one single component, you could argue that that's a lot. But my limit for, and it's not just my limit, a lot of people do this, when the grams you lower by upgrading one component, is is costs more per gram than one unit, let's say €1, $1, whatever. uh, you should stop there. So let's say that this one is $75, and the Dura Ace one would cost me $95. If it's 20 grams lighter, I would still go for that. I would still go for the Dura Ace cassette, because for each gram I'm paying less. I'm paying €1 for each one. But if it's 200 and something dollars or euros, I'm paying like $3 or $4. I don't know, for each gram. And at that moment, I wouldn't proceed further. So there's that. And there's no other cassette in this price range, in this weight range, with this quality, that's better than that I know of, that's better than this one. Why? Because this is fully made of steel. it has Shimano quality, which is, as you know, probably the best. Although I'm using a mix of Shimano and SRAM and Easton components for the cassette, I'm sticking with Shimano. I like them. Uh, Always have worked, and yeah. So although everything is made of steel, the body of the bigger, and let me just disassemble this. I'm not sure how. The body of the some sections is made of aluminum. So yeah, like I said, well, yeah, like I said, more or less. I said the first four cogs. It's actually the first five cogs. So the first five are. I'm guessing this is plastic. This is made of plastic. This is anodized aluminum. We're talking about steel here. Okay. Now these ones are fully made of steel, and then the spacers are just regular old, maybe ABS or something. Now this part is also really interesting because it's not that usual for a major manufacturer like Shimano doing make installing these lock rings on their products made of aluminum. So that's more for tuning and small companies from Asia. But at this time, yeah, you have this on Ultegra. I don't know about other product lines, but Ultegra has it. I'm guessing also Dura Ace. I doubt that 105 has it, but correct me if I'm wrong. Either way, you already have it here. There's no need to, if you want to lower, I'm guessing 5 grams or so, going from a steel one to a aluminum one, you drop like from 8 to 20, sorry, from 8 to a dozen bucks for a aluminum lock ring. Okay, that's already here. No need to upgrade. Yeah, and then it's all steel, all regular old steel. Now you could argue that with a well-maintained Dura Ace cassette, you wouldn't need to switch it a lot of times. You'd maintain that cassette for a lot of time, and I believe that. I actually think that if you really are careful with the maintenance on your bike, meaning cleaning it, reloading it, and checking the chain wear and switching it every time it needs to be replaced, you wouldn't wear a lot of your cassette. I've had that experience with a SRAM, I believe, cassette, and I went through, I think, 3 or 4 chains, still maintaining the original cassette for a lot of time, and that could be true. And if I see that happening, because it was a 9-speed setup for my mountain bike, I'm not sure I could translate it directly to this setup. Probably this one gets the prize on that front. But if I see that, the next cassette will be a Dura Ace, cassette with this part in titanium, and then these bodies right here made of steel, which you have you can actually replace them. And I would so far as to go that you can buy a Dura Ace cassette, keep those, probably these two bodies made of carbon and aluminum and titanium from the original cassette, and then instead of buying a replacement, these cogs for replacing in steel for replacing the old Dura Ace cassette, you could probably buy a 105 cassette with the same the same teeth, and with a bit of luck, there's direct compatibility between the 105 or even lower to the Dura Ace cassette. Why? Because everything is the same and it trickles down from Dura Ace to the lower tier group sets. And if you buy a Dura Ace right now in 2022, let's say in 3 or 2 years, you want to replace that, or at least some of the cogs on the cassette, you go and you buy a 105 cassette for and you forget about the top part of the cassette. You just want to use the lower part of it. By that time, the technology that went to the Dura-Ace cassette when you bought it in 2022 will be on the 2025 or so Shimano 105. So you're actually buying the right component for your Dura-Ace cassette by buying the 105 3 years further down the line. So I would argue that could work really, really nicely. These are steel sprockets, nothing special there. This really, this looks like, this is a really hard, this is a really hard plastic. They say it's carbon fiber. I'm not so sure about that, but yeah, it could be a carbon matrix or something. Now let's weigh it without, let's see. Again, weight is just that, just weight. Way more important is your physical status. 220, 221. Let me change. 218. Well, let's say it's 220. 220 is really light. The ones that are lighter are the top of the line, either Shimano or SRAM parts, either red or Dura-Ace, and they weigh around, for the same size of cassette, I believe 180 or 170 grams, or it could be 160 something. So you'd be shaving around 50 grams or 40 grams. That's what I believe you could be shaving. Well, it's a bit. Well, if you lose some weight, I believe you could lose way more than 50 grams. Everything sums up. Yeah, I know that also the money sums up or not in your wallet. So at the end of the day, it's up to you. But yeah, I believe this is a really great compromise, and it's lower now. So well, let's Let's leave it right there, and hopefully in a few hours it probably is 180. Yeah, 214. Yeah, we'll get there in a few hours. Well, guys, take care. See you on the next one.